What does it take to solve problems, help others, and improve the world around you? Curiosity, creativity, persistence. What it takes are the skills of an engineer.
Hi, my name is Heidi. I'm a mechanical engineer working on small satellites at Boeing.
Hi, I'm Casey Boyle. I'm a structural engineer at Boeing, and I help design new small satellites.
Casey and Heidi are two engineers who create satellites and test them in order to send them into space. Casey works on designing the many parts of a satellite.
So when I'm designing the satellite, I have a lot of things to think about. I want to try and make it as light as possible, but I also want to make it strong. So sometimes I make a part that's a little too weak and it's a little too light. And when we test it, it breaks. And Heidi would tell me to make it stronger, to make it bigger and make it weigh a little bit more, but it will make it into space.
Heidi tests the satellite that Casey designs to make sure it will safely travel in a rocket to go into space. She creates different kinds of tests and calculates how well the satellite did in those tests to prepare it for space.
Some of the tests that we do are vibration tests. So what we do is we set the satellite up on like a big table and bolt it down, and then we shake it in different ways. Because when a satellite's in a rocket, the rocket shakes up and down, and it's a really bumpy ride up to space. So we want to make sure nothing's going to break off or get ruined in the process.
Satellites get to space by riding a rocket. The satellite that Casey designs needs to be able to fold up so it can fit into a rocket and withstand all the forces of the rocket as it goes into space. Heidi runs many tests to make sure the satellite that Casey creates is strong and light enough to get where it needs to go. Engineers like Casey and Heidi help create new, smaller satellites that can be safely launched into space. They use the engineering design process to figure out ways to solve problems in their work.
If you want to explore engineering, you need to be creative. Think about how things work and why they work that way, and don't be afraid to try new things.
The whole reason I became an engineer was because I was curious. I found problems and I wanted to solve them. I wanted to know the answer.
The most important thing is never giving up. Not being afraid to try new things, not being afraid to mess up sometimes, just making sure that when something happens that you're not expecting, to learn from those mistakes and to make things better next time.
Are you ready to make your own water transport satellite? Check out the activity on the Curiosity Machine.